Time for Eye on Africa. The headlines: more sex crimes allegations against UN staff. Several missions in Africa singled out in a new report. Elsewhere, Benin gears up for this weekend's presidential poll, but logistical problems mean not everybody may get to vote for a successor to Thomas Boni Yayi. Nigerian singer-songwriter Chidinma will be wowing the Paris audience later tonight and in our studio very shortly. Start with allegations of sex crimes carried out by UN personnel. That based on the findings of an internal report which says most of the 99 cases in question relate to peacekeeping missions in Africa. France 24's Laurent Berstechet has details.
Going on the offensive, the United Nations released a report Friday detailing allegations of sexual crimes by its staff.
The total number of allegations of ACA this year was 69 in peacekeeping, and increased from 52 allegations in 2014.
In accordance with the UN's new name and shame policy, the report for the first time provides detailed information on the victims, the nature of the crimes, and the nationality of the alleged perpetrators. Peacekeepers from a total of 21 countries were named, and most of them are African. The UN has repeatedly been accused of not doing enough to tackle the allegations, but the organization now hopes the report can help better identify and prosecute these crimes.
Our aim is to achieve greater transparency so as to allow the organization and its member states to demonstrate through action on allegations their commitment to accountability.
Recommendations include setting a time frame of 6 months to complete investigations, as well as setting up on-site court-martials and making use of DNA testing to identify perpetrators. The United States recently weighed in on the issue and are now pushing the UN Security Council to adopt a resolution to repatriate peacekeepers found guilty of abuse.
In Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe says his government is to nationalise the country's diamond industry. The president says the move's needed to boost the state coffers and stop wealth being siphoned off by mining companies. He claims at present the government is taking in just $2 billion of a potential $15 billion generated by the sector. But critics claim the policy will hit investment into an already stunted economy. Benin is gearing up for presidential elections on Sunday. Incumbent Thomas Boni Yayi stepping down after 2 terms at the helm of the small West African cotton producer. 33 candidates are vying to succeed him, but logistical problems may keep hundreds of thousands of people from casting their ballots. This from Georgia Calvin Smith.
Ablaze with colour and a blast with sound. On Friday, supporters of the 33 candidates in Sunday's poll rushed for the last time to rival rallies around Cotonou. Though there is a handful of favourites to replace President Boni Yayi, the vote's expected to be the most hotly contested yet.
It feels like Benin may be at a political crossroads. Unlike previous elections, it feels like all the front runners have this time found their support base by rising up the previous traditional reliance on regional loyalties. This close to Sunday's vote, and it looks like the race is still wide open.
There are many uncertainties. A record number of hopefuls are running as independents. Within political camps, disagreements over the candidates chosen raise questions of whether members will really follow the party line on the day. Some voters see little difference between the businessmen, bankers and old political faces on offer.
Je ne sais pas. L'opposition, il y a plus d'opposition dans le pays. On ne sait plus quoi faire.
There's no more opposition in the country. We don't know what to do. Businessmen have taken over the country. Politicians, the government and opposition members are all intertwined. We can't tell the difference between them anymore.
It's a difficult election to call, and even the underdogs are still in the running. With so much fluidity to the field, and despite the enthusiasm of those already saying that they're sure of their choice, it looks like a runoff vote is likely to follow.
Elsewhere, authorities in the western Libyan town of Sabratha say 2 Italian hostages taken by the Islamic State group have been freed. That after local fighters came to their rescue after a tip-off. The source saying the pair are receiving medical treatment and will soon return home. He also confirmed 2 other Italians have been killed in recent clashes between IS militants and Sabratha's local forces. They've been locked in fierce fighting with the jihadists in recent weeks. Nigeria's military says it's rescued 63 people in the latest operation against Boko Haram in the country's northeast. The spokesman saying 5 militants were also killed during an attack on their hideouts in Borno State. Since 2009, their insurgency to carve out an Islamic state in the country has left at least 17,000 people dead and 2.6 million homeless. Regional forces have been deployed to fight the extremists. Next, Nigerian singer-songwriter and performer Chidinma, who's rose to stardom after winning 2010's Project Fame West Africa, is performing in Paris tonight, and luckily for us, she's popped by France 24 beforehand. Thanks for coming in. You've got a late concert tonight. Tell us more about it.
Yes. Supposed to be at 3 in the morning. Yes, that's that's really late. And also early in the morning. Yes.
Okay, and you're here. This is the start of the European tour.
Yes,
is that right?
This is the first. Yes.
And you're going to be heading where after that?
Belgium. Yeah, there's Germany. Yeah, I think there's Amsterdam. Yeah, quite a lot. So I'm here for about a month. Yeah, so I'll be moving around for about a month.
You're huge in Nigeria. How are you doing in France and in Europe?
This is my first time here. It's my first time, and so I've actually come to promote my music, promote myself, and at the same time, meet with a couple of artists around here, hear what your music sounds like. Yes.
And who have you been meeting, and how's it been going?
It's my, I just arrived today. I just got in today. Yeah, so I've not had time to. So after the show tomorrow, I start meeting people.
Tell us a little bit more about what made you want to get into the industry. What inspired you when you were young?
I never intended to do music. I always wanted to be like you, be a broadcaster.
Not a good idea.
Of course it is. But I got into a competition and I won, and I just felt, okay, I need to give this a trial. And yeah, it worked for me, and I decided to stay.
And who inspired you and influenced you and continues to do so? Which artist?
My mom is not an artist, but she's always been an inspiration. But for an artist, I've always followed Bob Marley very closely. I grew up listening to Bob Marley. I listened to a lot of Bob Marley, actually. I listened to a lot of reggae music, yeah, and then also listened a lot to Alicia Keys, yeah.
And how do you see, where's your career going next? Is going to be a new album?
Yes, there is. That is what I'm working towards right now, yeah. I put out some videos, a few videos, and then the album.
And what can we expect from the album?
Music. Good music, trust me. Good music, yes.
Okay, Chidinma, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
The tour starts soon. Finally to Niger, which ranks bottom of the United Nations Human Development Index. One reason cited is that the country has the world's highest birth rate, but most of the population don't see that as a factor in causing poverty. France 24's Sarah Sacco and Nicolas Jaman report.
Mahamadou has 8 children. The eldest is 16, the youngest only 7 months old. In Niger, women have on average 7.6 children.
We must have many children to spread Islam, but also so they can look after us when we're old.
But large families don't seem to worry the next generation too much.
My father has 8 children. I only want 4 or 5.
Child brides, a shortage of contraceptives and a lack of education all explain Niger's high birth rate. But when you talk to people here, very few of them actually believe that the high birth rate is a problem. There are some local NGOs like Anima Sutura who are trying to change mentalities and improve the situation on the ground.
It's a huge challenge to bring contraceptives into Niger. The country is immense. The health service is weak. It's also hard to convince religious leaders. The demographic question is like a bomb hanging over Niger. If you don't solve it now, we won't cope later.
If the birth rate remains the same, Niger's population will jump from 19 million today to 68 million in 2050.
That's it for Eye on Africa. Do stay with us here on France 24.